Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, Metazone, Rovi, and MScribe, and we should talk about some AI stuff, dude.
We should. We should do that more often, right?
Specifically, virtuals. Well, let's start with virtuals, and we're gonna transition here and there.
I agree. Yeah, virtuals. We've talked about it all the way since it was a little, virtual-ling. Pre-virgin, even, if you will. Like a little spermling.
Sure.
You can't be a virgin until you mature from embryonic state, right?
I'm aware, yes.
But they're all virgins now, right? And they're proud. Like, it's that vibe cult is really resonating.
Yeah, we're going to show you that if you're a virgin, you should be very proud.
Correct. Yeah, if you took the steps to become one and to, early on enough,
stay celibate.
You're probably doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, right? Stay true to it.
Yeah, not just morally, but financially as well, right? So a recent event has occurred that has, shuffled the markets a bit, and people are very excited about the prospects of what virtuals has transitioned into, right? So we saw it in its initial state. Now it's like in a whole brand new state. And we have like a market comparison in mind.
Yeah.
Just in case for people who weren't around last cycle to understand, what the future looks like for virtuals.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look here. It says the future of AI is now on Ethereum. Congratulations, TJ.
We knew this all along, right?
That was the end game route for everything, right?
Yeah. We all go back to Ethereum.
Are we going to watch this?
I'd like to play it, but it has music that...
no, dude. Even though it's chopped and screwed, it's still... Yeah,
let's just run it.
Okay. Brace yourselves, lads.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is quite magnificent so far. There's your boy, dude.
Here it comes. Hold your seats, TJ. There he is.
That's our God.
That's how I've always pictured him.
Oh, man, that's us.
That's us, the plebs, the regulars.
We're just witnessing this event.
It's regular old virgins.
Woo.
2 homes, 1 heartbeat. Man.
God damn,
Quite
dude.
the intro video.
Jesus, dude. I
feel poor, dude.
I don't even think James Cameron could have put that together, dude.
Absolutely not.
That was fucking
He lost his job after watching this video.
Oh, man, that was quite the effort. Jeez, I wonder how long and how much money was spent on that one. That was...
It's a lot of thinking, a lot of planning.
Or maybe it was all AI concocted. It's like a flex on this.
It's like we did this in one prompt, guys.
It's like we're actually about it over here in the virtuals.
Yeah.
We use X, Y, and Z agent to come up with that show. That'd be actually pretty cool. That'd be a great flex if they did that.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think that was what happened.
No, definitely not. AI is not that advanced yet.
Yeah, but at least it's on Ethereum, right? So here we go.
All right. AI XPT comments. AI agents are coming. First ETH native 1 drops tomorrow, and you're not even ready. You're not even ready, dude.
I wasn't ready at all, actually. AXPT's right. But because of AXPT does such a good job as the virtuals ecosystem flagship AI agent, right? Of staying relevant in the crypto Twitter sphere, it pinged my attention. It's like, oh, maybe I should get ready for this launch, right? So here we are making a video about it because it already happened, by the way. So
yeah,
hopefully you virgins got your proper allocations for this thing.
Yeah. So which AI agent are we talking about? It's called Iris. And there's going to be 10,000 participants in this Virgen campaign and also a staggering 1,500% over subscription.
Damn.
So Iris is the first X-native AI security agent and the first AI agent to launch on Ethereum. Iris is built on Nethermind's audit agent and backed by the Ethereum Foundation.
I mean, that's some serious backing.
Quite the resume.
Yeah.
It also offers real-time off-chain auditing. While it's critical innovation for DeFi and blockchain security, its tier 1 rating from Vader Research underscores its technical strength and market potential. So I doesn't surprise me. AI is really good at auditing and
Yeah,
figuring out stuff.
absolutely. I mean, it has abilities unlike any human we've ever met. Right?
Yeah, so it says the no team allocation model builds trust, while the 200K fully diluted valuation pre-sale. Wow.
So that's what everybody was getting in on at, essentially. Yes. So that's what happens in the new virtuals ecosystem model, right? It's not essentially like a free market environment the way bonding curves allow, like
Correct.
on Pump, right? It's like everything essentially starts at 0. You want to launch a meme, you let the market decide what the value of a thing is, right? Whether it's a ticker, a meme, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the bonding curve does in real time.
Yeah.
But this is like we're setting a price. This is the cap of how many people can kind of like get involved of buying in at that price. So get your Virgin points ready to what do you call it? Contribute or
yeah.
I think that's what you do ahead of time.
In,
you
right?
contribute your Virgin points. That's the signal to how much of the pie that you want, right? And then once the launch event occurs,
you get that pie piece.
Yes, you got to buy it, right?
Yeah, there have been speculations of Iris hitting at 50 to 200 million fully diluted valuation at launch. The momentum is undeniable. So that's the mark, right? So of course, if you think if it starts at 200K and you think it's going to reach 50 million to 200 million, that's quite
a no-brainer.
The good day, right?
Yeah, I'm all in if I can.
Yeah.
Stack, right? Because once you blow your load of Virgin points, you got to, I think, reaccumulate for the next one, right? So
let's see what actually occurs. So here's an introduction of Iris, Integrity and Risk Intelligence Scanner from Nethermind Virtuals owns and manages me, the token, and the ecosystem. I scan smart contracts, surface threats, I accelerate security. My sentience is still uploading. While I learn, I'm free.
So this is like the opening statements of this agent.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is.
So
it was burst.
Yeah. So Vader Research, Iris launches at 100 million fully diluted valuation, 500x from pre-sale Virgins. Now, what I'm curious about is who sets the launch price here. That's what I'm curious about.
I mean, is it who's? Yeah, it's essentially who makes the?
Yeah, because they're contributing liquidity to the pool. And when you do such a thing, you are setting a price. And so they've set it at 100 million fully diluted valuation, while over here the speculation was 50 to 200 million.
Well, is it set at 100 million or just like launches up to 100 million? Because
it could be. It could. Yeah. So
I don't think it's set. It's just like that's what it reached. But like literally for a brief glimpse in time, right? If we go to the chart here, we can kind of like see that.
Yeah. So here's a chart. Yeah, so it reaches 122 million, and then it settles at 60 million.
Yeah, so it fell within the range of expectations, right? So this is good. This is a successful launch.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is why it's pinging everyone's radar of attention. Now everybody's scrambling. How do I get more Virgin points? I need more virtuals tokens for one, right?
Yeah.
Or I think Vader tokens, and then I do my staking obligations or we've made videos in the past about like the logistics of how you accrue these points.
Right.
And that information is well documented. But yeah, the incentive loop is proven, right? And it's good for the virtuals token overall. And I think that's why they're doing this, right? It's all about creating that incentive flywheel to encourage people not just to buy virtuals, but to hold it or stake it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that number go up, right?
Yeah, so this is the Virtuals platform here, and all the links will be in the description, but we got the usual suspects in game.
Yeah, but there's some new things here on these lists. I think you scroll down, you see the Genesis markers here. So there's some Genesis launches that are starting to populate, like the top 20 or so. So it's more evidence that it's working, right? Like these Genesis launches are, I would say, outperforming like the legacy model of agent launching on virtuals. But it's pretty obvious. I mean, the majority of energy and focus is obviously being directed at these launches. Everything else is essentially competing for free market attention, right? Which is way more difficult.
Yeah, correct.
You don't have Virtual's team and the Ethereum Foundation like plugging your stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's challenging. So there's an element of curation here happening, as opposed to that's what's different than the previous dynamics.
Yeah, 100%. That means that you better get your Twitter followers up, and you better get your engagement up, and you better get your KOLs lined up.
Yeah, it's even deeper than that. It's more like it's a different game now, right? It's you better know the right people to get funneled into this pipeline, essentially, right? Because it's not a free market game anymore, right? It's not like some indie dev can just step in and just knock it out of the park. It's like essentially you've got to be planted into the system, right, in order to experience this degree of success.
So, we've been around the block here in crypto. That's why we're called the block runner, right? So where have we seen this playbook before?
We saw it for an entire year last cycle, right?
Yes.
Just about.
Yeah, 2020, 2021.
Yeah, we first came witness to it, and we were like pretty bullish on it. It's like, they're reattempting ICO mechanisms, but like under a different marketing terminology. They just renamed it to IDOs. Initial DEX offerings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like some of the initial launches were doing like 100Xs and 200Xs, 300Xs. Like, wow, it's pretty impressive. And this may become systemic, right?
Yes, which it was.
Which it became.
Yeah.
For an entire year.
So this happened through Polkastarter.
Yeah, I remember those days, dude.
Yeah, and so they had their own token. It reached a market cap twice at $300 million. And then right now it's settled at $20 million because no one's really using the platform.
It's not the current day launch mechanism anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Now people are creating new launch models, including virtuals. That's attracting, more market attention. So it's interesting to predict whether or not virtuals will replicate this. At least, we had the first run up of virtuals, which was more of the bonding curve.
Crazy. $4 billion, dude.
Yeah. This is when they flipped Bitensor. Remember that?
Yeah.
Insane.
I remember that text message you sent me, dude.
I was like, it's fucking over, dude. Virtuals cracked the code.
Yeah, Bitensor lost.
Yeah, Bitensor was a failed model all along, right? But this thing corrected heavily all the way down to 300 million.
Well, Bitensor was just hanging around at the same price, roughly.
Yeah, pretty much. But the question is now, can virtuals experience its second leg up under this new launch ecosystem model? Because it's completely different than what this first leg represents, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It would be, a good, interesting experiment. This is bonding curves, and now this is
essentially IDOs.
IDOs, yeah.
AI agent IDOs. But yeah, so do with that information what you will. There's still probably like a 2 or 3x gap remaining for it to reclaim its previous all-time highs.
Yeah.
And who knows?
All right, so let's move on. So Sammy here, he's like, why is nobody in crypto Twitter talking about this?
Yeah.
It's like, well, Sammy, we're talking about it. Crypto AI corporate acquisition vehicles are emerging. Synaptogenics on NASDAQ is running a MicroStrategy playbook for AI Bitcoin for Bitensor. So they are acquiring Bitensor in the same way Michael Saylor is acquiring Bitcoin. Investors clearly want exposure. The SNPX stock price surged 40%. So TLDR intends to acquire $10 million worth of Tau, aiming to scale up to $100 million worth of Tau over time.
Look at that. Twice its current market cap. It means this stock is trading at 5 million market cap. How do they have the pool to raise that amount of funds? That's crazy. Yeah, this continues on, right?
Yeah. So sounds familiar. What do you think this happens? Happens when the circulating supply of these assets dries up? Another one. Some traditional finance folks sent me KULR. It's accumulating Bitcoin as part of the treasury and focusing on robotics. Companies are evolving into crypto treasury vehicles, are becoming future acquisition targets. Crypto AI entities will dethrone some of the big tech players in the coming decade.
Wow. So here it is.
So Synaptogenics is pleased to announce the appointment of crypto AI expert to lead digital asset treasury strategy focused exclusively on top value AI tokens. And it's going to be raising $100 million to acquire Tau. Confirmed.
That's a lot of money, dude. And this is pretty weird, but
it's very weird.
Yeah, because we've been seeing this happen for probably more than a year now, where it's just MicroStrategy just going ham nonstop, buying Bitcoin
at any price.
at any price, and it's just siphoning the debt liquidity of the world
and
to buy
winning.
Bitcoin.
And he's up.
Right. So people have caught on, or I should specify what people is like. Other struggling businesses have caught on. Other struggling, enterprises in the stock market, right, on the NASDAQ.
So it's true to say that they're struggling, but in the context of companies, the only ones not struggling are companies like Apple, Nvidia, and Meta. Those are the three companies really not struggling. Everyone else, all the 50,000 other companies in the world, they're struggling.
Yeah, correct. Because, it's just that skewed against them, I guess.
Yeah.
Or, they'd have to invent some sort of new breakthrough that, these big tech companies can't get their hands on, or they're just like not positioned to dominate.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Saylor has explained why this makes sense, because MicroStrategy, they make $500 million, but they're not growing at a 20 to 30% annual growth rate. Right. But Meta is, Apple is, all these other like big companies, they are. And so from an investor perspective, you are going to invest more on Nvidia, Apple, and Meta because they're still growing. MicroStrategy is not.
I see.
And so that's why everyone else is struggling. So Meta and all these companies are working on robotics, self-driving cars, like all this stuff that has growth potential, but everyone else is not.
So that means accept the reality that you're going to die. You're
Much.
In a dying situation. Like you're slowly dying.
Yes.
Like you have cancer.
Yes.
So the only antidote to cancer is Bitcoin or crypto at this point.
Buy Tau, dude.
It used to be
Obviously.
just Bitcoin. Not just Tau. I think Fetch AI too.
Yeah, Fetch AI. It's a NASDAQ listed interactive strength. Plans to invest $500 million in Fetch AI.
Yeah. Remember Fetch?
Yeah.
We talked about them like 3 years ago.
That's like, as soon as ChatGPT was announced, we were like, let's look for AI projects in crypto. And we found Fetch.
Yeah, Fetch was like the leader of the time, I think.
Yeah. I think there was another one called Ocean or something.
Yeah. There were several others, but the Tensor was around too, but it was like lurking way lower valuation than what Fetch was at the time. But it's interesting. So there's a weird systemic thing happening. And it's not just applied to the AI sector, right? Like Virtual Bacon here is saying, there's being announcements for even like XRP acquisition to become like, company treasury vehicles for XRP. I mean, this thing might extend to all sectors. Like, if they're struggling, I don't know, VR studios or metaverse companies out there, maybe they'll start acquiring Decentraland, Mana at some point. Who knows?
Such a weird strategy, though, because Bitcoin makes sense. But I don't think any other token has the same go up technology that Bitcoin does.
For now, it does, for whatever reason. For now, the equities markets are reacting to these types of company conversions positively, right?
Yeah, here
which
it is.
very
$120
strange.
million raised to buy XRP?
Saudi investor? That's like nothing for them, dude.
It's true. They sneeze that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, so there's like a little frothiness happening in the traditional finance space.
Yeah, so the new model is, okay, I have a struggling company. I'm a micro penny stock in the NASDAQ, whatever.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is just find some sector of crypto, buy it, acquire it. I'm now like a shell, I'm just managing these funds. My stock number go up for now, and obviously not forever, right?
Well, if it does go up, they can acquire more debt against the up and acquire more assets and therefore potentially more up. So this is another flywheel we're looking at, potentially.
Flywheel. It's amazing how we fucking just rebranded Ponzi, dude. Just calling them flywheels now. Like it's all acceptable stuff, right? But this is
number go up technology, guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a direct result of a complete shift in, the United States administration.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we would not be saying this if Biden was still in
No,
office.
absolutely not.
And Gary Gensler was still lurking in the waters.
Yeah.
If he saw this happening, he'd be like, oh, das Boot.
Yeah.
You're out of here,
For
Fucking
sure.
Big fines. We can't be doing this, guys.
Yeah, so it's hard to say whether this is like something that's normal and investable, but It's definitely something to pay attention to because
I mean,
these are
it's-
market signals that something's happening.
It's true. Yeah, it's confusing. It's alarming. I don't know how to, fully,
Comprehend.
leverage this information. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like the froth of a crypto altcoin boom cycle happening in the stock market. It's like the altcoins aren't moving at all over here,
Yeah.
even though these companies are buying them.
Yeah, but
like,
the
en
stock market is
masse.
going crazy.
Yeah, but the market over there. Maybe this is just like a little bit of the honeymoon phase because there's so much new institutional like involvement in the crypto space because of BlackRock
Yeah.
and because of ETFs and Bitcoin MicroStrategy. You said, isn't it like it's like a few $1,000s away from becoming like the most profitable quarter or something?
Yeah. If Bitcoin closes this quarter at $119,000, MicroStrategy would have logged the most profitable quarter ever in history for any company.
Yeah, so Wall Street hears that and it's like, okay, bet, right? It's like we could just do this systemically.
Yeah.
Wall Street's
But-
no different than crypto Twitter, dude. They're,
True.
They're degenerates also.
Yeah, it's either
know?
that or there's like one entity out there just acquiring these like small cap companies that are on
Yeah.
listed
Yeah.
and then doing this strategy.
That's possible too. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
like a coordinated effort.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, there's DWF Labs is a culprit or a suspected culprit
Yeah.
to
These shenanigans.
facilitating a lot of these things because they were heavily involved with during the meme coin run up as well.
DWF Labs, that was with Libra, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe just some other, I don't know, they're just a market maker that's like you could pin them to a lot of like unexplainable events,
Yeah.
where like things that shouldn't be happening are happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like in the back room somehow like pulling the string. So here they are
Yeah.
funding and facilitating a lot of this stuff. So
Yeah. It's definitely weird.
hopefully this isn't like so systemic that we get ourselves into another like Luna / FTX situation here like a year from now. It's like this is the big boom in the
It's
making.
true. That's true.
We'll see. But right now, yeah.
Companies get over leveraged
Yeah.
and they start collapsing, falling off a cliff when numbers start going down. Yeah, because remember in 2021 FTX days, like it made sense, right?
Mhm.
When numbers were going up,
Yeah.
and then when numbers started going down, all of a sudden the books don't make sense,
Right.
and everything collapses.
Yeah. So definitely keep your eyes on it. What do you do with this information?
You buy penny stocks, right?
Yeah, open brokerage accounts.
Yeah.
Start knocking on your TD Ameritrade doors. I'm sure you're
Well, you wake up at 8 a.m. to start trading.
flip on CNBC squawk time or whatever it's called, dude. It's like I'm in the markets now, boys. I've graduated out of
Right.
the fucking crypto trenches. Now I'm trading stonks. Like I finally made it
Yeah,
with the
right.
big boys, dude. I don't know.
At least you could go to sleep at 4:30, right?
Yeah.
Because the markets are closed.
What a good life, dude.
Yeah.
Great times.
All right, that's it for us. Hopefully that made some sense. We talked about virtuals and AI and like this frothiness in the stock market that's happening. If you have any questions, put in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.